The barbecue was at my sister Jessica's house. Saturday afternoon, June heat, the whole family gathered for my nephew Brandon's 13th birthday. I'd brought a gift, a nice one. Headphones he'd been wanting, $80, wrapped carefully with a card. Aunt Sarah, Brandon yelled when I arrived. Did you bring me something good? Happy birthday. Open it later. Why later? I want to see it now. Because there are other guests, and your mom said gifts after cake. He rolled his eyes and ran off to join his friends in the backyard. I helped set up, carried food, arranged chairs, filled coolers. Mom sat in the shade giving directions. Jessica bounced between the kitchen and yard, playing hostess. Jessica's husband, Tom, was grilling. Their younger son, 9-year-old Connor, was showing off on the trampoline. Brandon and his 3 friends were by the pool, loud and wild, the way teenage boys are. I'd worn nice clothes, a light blue blouse, white pants. I had my phone in my pocket. It was a casual family party, but I'd come from running errands and hadn't changed. The party was fine at first. Food, conversation, cake. Brandon opened gifts. He tore through mine quickly. Headphones. Cool. Thanks, Aunt Sarah. Not great enthusiasm, but 13-year-olds rarely show excitement for anything from adults. After cake, the boys went back to the pool area. I was helping Jessica clean up the kitchen when we heard shouting and splashing. They're just playing, Jessica said. Boys being boys. Mom was still in her chair, 4th glass of wine in hand, watching everything with that slight smile she got when she was tipsy and feeling superior. I took a stack of paper plates to the outdoor trash. Had to walk past the pool to reach it. Brandon and his friends were playing some kind of game, splashing each other, throwing a ball, the usual pool chaos. I was walking back toward the house when Brandon called out, Aunt Sarah, catch. I turned. He was holding a large plastic cup, the red kind, a solo cup, filled with pool water. Before I could react, he threw it. Not tossed. Not accidentally spilled. Threw the contents directly at me. The water hit my chest, my face, my hair. Cold pool water, probably chlorinated, definitely dirty from teenage boys playing in it all afternoon. It soaked my blouse and my white pants. My phone in my pocket started buzzing with an emergency moisture alert. I stood there, dripping, pool water running down my face, clothes stuck to me, hair plastered to my head. Brandon and his friends were laughing, loud, obnoxious teenage boy laughter. Oops, Brandon said, grinning. Not sorry, not embarrassed. Proud, his friends high-fived him. I looked at Jessica, who had come outside. She was trying not to smile. I looked at Tom, who had turned from the grill. He shook his head, but didn't say anything. I looked at Mom. She was laughing, full, genuine laughter, like she'd just seen the funniest thing all day. Brandon, I said, my voice steady. That wasn't funny. It was just water, Aunt Sarah. Don't be so serious. You threw water on me, deliberately. It was an accident. You said catch and then threw water at me. That's not an accident. The friends were still snickering. One was filming on his phone. Mom, I said, looking at Jessica, are you going to say something? Jessica glanced at Brandon, his friends, and then at Mom. Boys, maybe calm down a little. Maybe calm down? Sarah, it's a pool party. People get wet. I wasn't in the pool. I was walking by. Brandon deliberately threw water on me. He's 13. He was playing around. I turned to Mom. You're just going to sit there? What do you want me to do? He's a kid at a pool party. I want you to tell your grandson that throwing water on people isn't acceptable. Mom took a sip of wine. Sarah, honey, it's just water. Lighten up. You're being dramatic. I'm soaking wet. My phone might be ruined. He did it on purpose, and he's not even sorry. It'll dry. Phones are waterproof now, and he said it was an accident. He said oops while laughing. Mom smirked. Actually smirked. You always were too sensitive. It's a party. Learn to take a joke. Brandon was watching this, learning that throwing water on people had no consequences. His friends were still snickering. Connor had come over to watch the drama. Tom finally spoke. Brandon, maybe apologize. I said oops. A real apology. Brandon sighed dramatically. Sorry you can't take a joke, Aunt Sarah. More laughter from his friends. Teach him some manners, I said to Mom, to Jessica, to anyone. It's just water, Jessica repeated. You're making a big deal out of nothing. It's assault, actually, throwing something at someone without consent. Oh, please, Mom said. Assault? You're going to call the police over pool water? I'm saying that teaching your grandson he can throw things at people and face no consequences is bad parenting. Don't tell me how to parent, Jessica snapped. Don't throw water on me, I snapped back. I walked to my car, dripping. My white pants now see-through, my blue blouse stuck to me, my hair dripping down my back. Nobody apologized. Nobody followed me. Nobody said Brandon was wrong. I heard Mom laughing as I drove away. At home, I stripped off the wet clothes. My phone was in SOS mode, moisture in the charging port. My white pants were probably ruined. My blouse would need special cleaning. But I was angrier about the principle than the damage. Brandon had thrown water on me. Mom had laughed. Jessica had dismissed it. Tom had been useless. And they'd all made me feel like I was the problem for being upset. I changed into dry clothes and opened my laptop. 4 years ago, Mom had asked me to co-sign her home equity loan. Just for the application, she'd said, "My income alone isn't enough, but with your salary, we'll get approved. You won't be responsible for payments, just a signature." I'd signed, because she was my mother, because she said it was just paperwork. The loan was for $75,000. Home improvements, she'd said. Updating the house before retirement. She made payments for 6 months. Then she called, saying she'd lost her part-time job. Could I help? Just temporarily? I'd been helping for 3.5 years. Making the monthly payment of $620. 37 months, $22,940. Plus the times she'd been short. The emergency repairs, the property tax help. Probably another $8,000. $30,000, give or take. Money I'd poured into Mom's loan while she drank wine at pool parties and laughed at her grandson throwing water on me. I pulled up the loan documents and read through the co-signer agreement. I could request removal as co-signer under several conditions. One was if I no longer wished to guarantee the debt. Another was if I had reason to believe the primary borrower was not acting in good faith. I drafted an email to the loan officer, Marcus Webb, who had handled the original loan. Mr. Webb, I am writing to request immediate removal as co-signer on loan account ending in 7392. As co-signer, I have been making payments for 37 months while the primary borrower has not met her obligations. I no longer wish to guarantee this debt. Please process my removal and notify the primary borrower that she will need to refinance in her name only or establish a payment history sufficient to continue the loan without a co-signer. Sincerely, Sarah Mitchell. I hit send. Then I set up a call for Monday morning. That evening, Jessica texted, "You really left in a huff over some water?" I didn't respond. Mom texted, "Don't be mad. Brandon was just playing. You're always so serious." I didn't respond. Brandon's friend posted the video on social media. Me getting drenched, Brandon saying, "Oops," everyone laughing. Caption, "When your aunt can't take a joke." I reported it, then blocked all of them. Monday morning at 9, I called Marcus Webb. "Ms. Mitchell, I got your email. I need to inform you that removing a co-signer isn't immediate. There's a process." I understand. I want to start that process. The primary borrower will need to qualify for the loan on her own income, refinance with a different co-signer, or pay off the loan. How long does she have? We'll send notification immediately. She'll have 30 days to respond with a plan. If she can't qualify independently, she'll need to refinance elsewhere or sell the property to pay off the loan. And the payments I've been making? Those will need to continue until she's removed from the loan or establishes independent payment history, unless you stop paying, in which case the loan goes into default. If it goes into default, we pursue both of you for the balance, but as co-signer, you'd have recourse to sue the primary borrower for any amounts you paid. I want to stop being legally tied to this loan. Understood. I'll process the request today. Your mother will receive notification by Wednesday. Thank you. Wednesday afternoon, Mom called. I let it go to voicemail. "Sarah, I got a letter from the bank. Call me immediately." Jessica called. "What did you do?" "Mom is freaking out about some loan thing." I didn't answer. Tom called. "Sarah, can we talk? Mom says you're trying to take her house." I texted back. "I'm removing myself as co-signer on a loan I've been paying for 3 years. She can handle it herself now." Mom called again. "Sarah, you can't do this. I can't afford the loan without you. They'll take my house." I answered, "Hello, Mom. What did you do?" "I requested removal as co-signer." Why would you do that? Because I've been paying your loan for 3 years and you laughed when your grandson threw water on me. This is about the pool water? You're going to destroy my financial life over pool water? This is about respect, something you didn't show me on Saturday. He's a 13-year-old boy. Boys are stupid at that age. And where do they learn to be stupid? From adults who laugh when they throw water on people. From grandmothers who think it's funny. From mothers who say, it's just water, lighten up. I was tipsy. You were watching. You saw him throw water on me. You heard me ask you to teach him manners. And you smirked and told me to lighten up. I didn't think you'd take it so seriously. I take $30,000 seriously. That's what I've paid on your loan while you drank wine and laughed at me being humiliated. Silence. 30,000. 37 months of payments, plus the extras, the emergency repairs you needed, the property tax help. I didn't ask you to pay that much. You asked me to help temporarily, 3.5 years ago. I helped because you're my mother. And you repaid that by laughing when your grandson assaulted me. Assaulted is a strong word. He threw water on me, without my consent, while filming it, then posted it online. That's assault and potentially harassment. But you thought it was hilarious. What do you want? An apology? I don't want anything. That's why I'm removing myself from your loan. You can handle your own financial obligations from now on. I can't afford it without you. My income isn't enough. Then you shouldn't have laughed at me, shouldn't have told me to lighten up, shouldn't have taught your grandson that disrespecting his aunt is acceptable. Sarah, please. I'll talk to Brandon. I'll make him apologize. I don't want his apology. It's 3 days too late and only happening because you need something from me. What about my house? What about my dignity? What about being treated with basic respect? What about not being laughed at when someone throws water on me? It was just water. And this is just a cosigner removal. See how minimizing works? She started crying. You're doing this to punish me. I'm doing this to protect myself from people who think I'm an am they can disrespect. You wanted me to lighten up about water. Now you can lighten up about losing your cosigner. I'll lose my house. Then you'll refinance or sell or figure it out. Like I had to figure out how to get home dripping wet while everyone laughed. That's completely different, is it? You think your house is important, but my dignity isn't. I think they're both important, and I'm choosing to protect mine. I hung up. Jessica called an hour later. Mom's a mess. Can't you just sign whatever she needs? No, she'll lose her house. She'll refinance or establish payment history or adjust her lifestyle. Adults figure these things out. You're being cruel. I'm being clear. I'm done funding people who don't respect me. Over water. Over years of being treated like an am with no feelings. Saturday was just the moment I realized I deserved better. Tom called that evening. The bank says she needs to prove income, get a different cosigner, or refinance by the end of the month. Sounds right. She can't do any of those things. That's unfortunate. Sarah, come on, she's your mother. She's also the woman who laughed when her grandson threw water on me and told me to lighten up when I asked her to correct him. He's a kid, and I'm her daughter, the one who's been paying her bills, who deserved better than being laughed at while dripping wet. So you're taking her house? I'm removing myself from financial responsibility for someone who showed zero responsibility toward me. 30 days later, Mom refinanced with a private lender at a higher interest rate. Her payments went from $620 to $915 a month. Jessica co-signed the new loan. I heard later that Jessica was helping with payments now. That Mom had to cut back on expenses, that Brandon had been made to delete the video, and never got an apology. But I did get something better. Freedom from funding people who thought I was a punchline. And the knowledge that just water cost Mom $300 more every month in loan payments. Sometimes the joke is on them. And this time, I wasn't laughing. I was dry.